gals, and non-binary pals, GM Potter here, and today we will be going over Not the Witch You Wed by April Asher. So this book came out this year. It's a paranormal romance novel. It goes over the fake dating trope, second chance trope are the main storytelling aspects of it. It's got a moderate spice level, so there is some spice. You can see my cat in the background there. It's got some spice, but not a lot. Let's get into it. So our main characters are Lincoln Link Thorne. He's a werewolf. He's the pack leader of the North American pack. I guess the packs are divided up by continents in this universe. And he's kind of chauvinistic and gross. Like, it leans really heavy into the alpha wolf stereotype, which is not based at all in actual wolves. We've come to find out through modern research that it was someone who didn't understand what they were looking at and just assigned this alpha role, and storytellers have been running with it because it's quick and dirty shorthand for what's going on, and it's not founded in reality, and it leads into this kind of gross, just, I'm the man, I do what I say we have to do, and it's just gross. Like, anybody who actually falls for the alpha male mentality nonsense is automatically gross in my book. It's just gross. And then we have Violet Maxwell. She's the firstborn of the triad, which triplets are a thing in this universe, and the firstborn is supposed to be the prima, which it feels very borrowed from other things. Like, it feels like borrowed from Charmed and borrowed from American Horror Story Coven a little bit, and not in a way that's like, that feels like it's its own. It feels like it's shorthand, and she doesn't have magic. She's a witch, but she doesn't have any magic, or does she? She's known as the Maxwell Dud, and she feels full of this kind of the fake rah girl power feminism from like the 90s that was like, yeah, girls can do anything, but at the same time the female character has no agency over their own life, and so it's like, can they? Like, you're not giving them the power to do anything. They don't have any agency, they don't have any power, they don't have any control over their own life or their own destiny. And you can subvert the trope, the feminism. You can subvert that by having them have agency. There's a magical law that says that the firstborn of the triad has to be witch bonded to cement her powers, and that she's got to get married so that her powers don't run amok. And that's kind of gross. And on top of that, I don't want to give anything away because I don't want to give spoilers on this in case you want to read it. But the ending kind of feels like a bad Disney Channel movie. Like The Princess Diaries 2, like, I know that's not a Disney Channel movie, it's just a Disney movie, but where they're like, well, why don't we just abolish the law and then no more problem? Like, they do that in this book, but they do it 3 times. And then they decide to do the thing that they've been fighting all along, and the ending feels rushed and contrived and just saccharine sweet. Like, it feels so sweet and so just, aww. Like, you're supposed to have this, aw, happy ending reaction to it, and I did not. Maybe I'm too disillusioned or something. Halfway through the book, I wrote down, a little cliche, they use hell spells as swearing, characters are a little watered down, if I didn't know any better I'd think this was a first book, not bad but not great, just okay. And then after I finished reading it, I wrote down, but that ending, ugh. Like, the ending ruins the book for me. For me, the ending, like it's the last thing you read, it's your lasting impact as a writer. You've got to get the ending right. Like, your hook is important, like your first part of the book is important, and this book does an okay job of hooking you in. Like, it does a fine job of hooking you in. Like I felt invited to read it when I first started. I'm like, okay, this is a little cheesy, but cheese can be good. Like, I love nachos, cheese can be good. And it's it just goes downhill from there, and then the ending is just like, this book went from being a solid 3 stars in the middle to, with the ending, I've got to drop it down to 2, because it's just not good with the when you include the ending. Like, stop reading. I think you know how every romance arc has like that fight towards the end where it's like, oh no, are they gonna be able to patch it back together? Stop reading there. It's a much better story. Like, with the in with the idea that they'll never get back together. Honestly, it's a better story if they don't, because all they do is fight and the other F word, and they don't seem to genuinely like each other. Like, for him, because it's told through both points of view, and it feels like for him, she's a conquest. She's the one that got away, because they, of course, it's a second chance trope. They were high school sweethearts until he decided to be an idiot. Like, it doesn't. It feels like something written a long time ago. Like, it feels dated. Like, and not in a good way, not in like a throwback kind of a way. It feels like it's not good. And with my modern woke sensibilities, it's not good. And like, the author, okay, there's one point where he's unconscious and she's got to use her body to wake him up. And so she like snuggles up against him, but she refuses to kiss him because he can't consent. So it establishes that in the universe, I'm not projecting here, that's established in the universe, but at the same time, it's other forms of consent are just kind of glossed over, and I hate to say it again because I feel like a broken record, it's just gross. It's just kind of gross. Like, the whole thing is just kind of gross, because not everybody is enthusiastically consenting, and the author made a point of establishing that in this universe, enthusiastic consent is needed. So it's just kind of gross. Should you read this? Like like I said, if you stop partway through, it's fine. Like, it's a fine book. If you read it all the way to the end ruins it. So read at your own peril, I guess. Have you read Not the Witch You Wed? What did you think? Have you read any of April Asher's other books? She previously wrote under a different name. This is her first one, as April Asher. She used to write under April Hunt. Have you read any of her other books? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!